Hey, happy Saturday, guys. We got your bets today. No NFL talk, no football talk. It's a weird Saturday. We'll be talking NBA. We'll drop some NHL picks. We'll talk some college basketball, of course. And I'm sure Mr. Scott Cobe has something that he wants to drop tennis related. So we'll get into it. Stay tuned. Let's get at it. Hello, all. Welcome on in to Lock It In on the Rec Room Sports Hub here. My name's Tanner Dawson. Joined with me is Alan Perales. Alan, what's up, man?
Oh my God, it's Saturday.
Amen to that here. I did my workout this morning, got home, ready to go, pumped up. Pre-workout still kicking. Let's go. But we got lots of bets. We got a lot of bets to talk about. We got lots of sports to talk about today as well. We will have Scott Cobe on. He'll be on in about 5-ish minutes. We'll get his
I gotta ask you this real quick, Tanner, because after what the news we heard yesterday, over under 5 wins for the Cowboys next year.
How about over under parlay? I'll take the under parlay of 8 wins for the Raiders and Cowboys. Actually, no, I'm kidding. If we really had to talk about it here, you said how many wins for the Cowboys?
5.
Yeah, I'll take the over. Yeah, it's not like it's a guy that's just coming in from the outside. He was there last year. He knows the system. I'm not worried about.
Well, I wouldn't. It'll be completely new system, somewhat.
I'm not.
I don't know. They haven't hired an offensive coordinator yet, but they've also brought in Matt Eberflus as the defensive coordinator. So,
oh really? Eberflus is the back. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I mean he's been here before. He was here under Jason Garrett, I believe. So,
yeah. So what Alan's alluding to is the breaking news that we talked about. There's Pete Carroll that went to the Raiders. We got Liam Cohen to the Jags, and now Brian Schottenheimer to the Dallas Cowboys. So we got some more, few more vacancies lined up here. I think that's just with the Saints.
One, yeah, Saints are the only team that don't have a head coach.
There's some OC positions out there still. There's still some stuff, but in the NFL related, that's your breaking news there. And I'm sure we'll be discussing some of that tomorrow as well. But I know Tuesday night, most likely, Whit and Jay will line that up here on the Rec Room Weekly for those topics as well on the NFL side. But hey, look, I know you guys are used to 3 of us, okay? But we got a guy coming in, and he mentioned on Tuesday night's weekly check-in there that he does price picks. And quite frankly, that's basically what we do with the player props. So I invited him in for the weekend and let him have some fun here. Let's bring him in here. Coach Joey, what's up, man?
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, happy to have you on. Glad you decided to help out and pop in and give some opinions, takes, and we'll be looking at a lot of stuff today. So
glad to be here. Glad to be here, man. Big fan of the show. I've been tuning in the last few weeks, and you guys have helped me secure some extra coins, so I appreciate you guys. That's the goal, right? Mm-hmm.
We may not always be right, but we do our best. Kind of recapping from last week a little bit too, right? So Saturday was a decent day, right? It wasn't anything fantastic, but it was still profitable, smally. Sunday was a fun day. That Philadelphia Los Angeles Rams game, we missed one bet of our locks. So that thing bump. If you had it in underdog like I did for those picks, you walked out with I put $5 down, walked out with 300, guys. So we're not looking at anything particular. We're just doing our best to see what we have, the data provided, and give you what we think's going on with the matchup. Now the Buffalo Bills Ravens game, that fourth quarter of the Ravens comeback, that killed a lot of our bets there. So we only walked out with 2 wins there, but who cares? You had a profitable day right in the first half. So not a bad day at all there. So hey, we've watched sports enough. I feel like we've bet sports enough. we got an idea what we're talking about. I don't know if it's always right. It won't be because it's sports betting, but we got an idea. But now we get to move into some other sports here because, like I said, there's no football on a Saturday. It's I don't know about you, Coach Joe and Alan, but it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
So I see the Ohio State jersey going on. So
yeah,
you representing there. I got my Jayhawks. So and then
nice.
Alan's a Sooner. Yeah, take that with what
I believe we're playing tonight against Arkansas.
Yep. And so we'll have some college basketball games here. All right. So Scott should be on soon. We can get started, guys. Let's pop in real quick here. There's a lot of games starting here. We'll just talk a little bit of game lines. Let's pop into. Let's do college basketball first. College basketball first. There's a lot more games going on early, so we can get this out of the way. Let's just talk game lines, okay? I'm not talking player props yet. Let's just stick to the lines here. Currently, for me, one of my favorite games I have going on, and we'll talk player props part about it. You should still be able to hit on some of this, but the SMU North Carolina State game I thought was pretty interesting there. It's a -2.5 favorites for SMU. Over under the 146.5, 147 for me. This is one of my favorite games, because SMU just scores, right? They may not win, they may not cover, but the totals and the points that they allow and put up are pretty high in this game here. So I like this over for 146.5. I think they take it to North Carolina State. I think we're looking at a pretty good total over. Any thoughts, guys, within this game particularly?
I mean, you were right. SMU does usually shoot a lot as far as what they've scored in the past. NC State, really talented team as well. This should be a decent matchup here. Right now, it's already a 4-0 game in favor of the home team, NC State. So,
right.
I don't know. I mean, I like a lot of what SMU has done so far this year. 5-3 in conference play, 14-5 overall. But it seems like they start off slow at times, and then it usually takes about a good chunk into the first half, maybe get into the second half for them to finally get going. I'm more of in this one in particular, I'm more of a bet live kind of person with this one because I'm not sure what SMU team is going to show up today because right now they're already down 8-0. So
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, but I'm looking more. For me, it's more the total part, right? So if you look at their last 5, Louisville, they gave up 98 points, still scored 73. You took the over 158 there. Miami, you scored 117 on Miami, gave up 74. That's an over 156 line right there. You have Virginia. Virginia's Virginia, right? Despite every year in year out, they're the best defensive team. So that was the low scoring game, 54-52. But then Georgia Tech, you scored 93, gave up 71. And then UNC 82-67. That UNC game was an under, but it was a 165.5 under. So these guys score. This is a low scoring game here. 13-6 on the over under for them. 6-12 for North Carolina State on that side too. If we look at them, they're still giving up in the 70s. All we need to get, 76-79 win against Virginia Tech, that gets us the over, right? We look at some of these teams that can put up points, we take the over. So I don't know, just kind of what I'm anticipating here for this team. They're also a very high paced team on this here. Where you at? They were one of the top pace teams, and of course now it's not going to show me anything because why would it work? But that's kind of the line I was looking at here initially this morning. Coach Joe, I'll let you go. Do you have a college basketball line you guys were looking at, game line?
I was looking at that Georgetown game, and I was just keying in really on player props initially for college basketball because
that's fair. That's fair.
My specialty. But if I had to say money line game, probably be that Georgetown game. I'm more in favor of what you were talking about, the over as well. So I do think that game will cover the over, in my opinion.
138.5. Yep.
And I just got just a couple of player props in that particular game.
I like it. Yeah, say those props here because we'll come back to it. We will come back to it here. If we look at, I like the over in this game as well. So, despite Georgetown being 5-14 on the over under, Providence is 9-1. Usually, these are recipes for an over to take because the over under total is lower. So generally, you can get to that 140 mark in a lot of these games. If you look at Georgetown here, they went over their 138.5 against DePaul. They were just short of their 144 there at St. John's. UConn game, they went over their 138 there. So, like, there's plenty of opportunities here where they give up points as well. And then Providence is kind of the same thing. They like to score points, though. Providence is a point scorer, despite their 9-1 over under. This is a team that goes after it. And the fact that they're home, that's why I like the over even more in this game as well. So, yeah, I like that 138.5. I like that. I like that line there for the over under total for it here. Hey, let's bring them in here. Sorry, I got to add another screen on here. Give me a second. So we can get them in. We're realigning. Sneak them in. Hang on. I'm doing some StreamYard work here. You got to brace with me for a minute. It's just how it is sometimes. Pop you here, Scott, and boom. All right, this is gonna look a little funky right now. It's all right. Scott Cobe, welcome in, man. Welcome in. I didn't realign before the show. I forgot to get the fourth person in this one. So, welcome in.
I look a little off, don't I?
Hey, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It makes it look cooler. So, hey, Alan, we'll get with you here. Scott, we're just going over game lines right now in college basketball here. I talked about SMU and the total there going over. That's playing right now. Coach Joe just brought in Georgetown Providence on the over 138.5. I like that line as well.
Yep, I like it.
Alan, what do we like here today? Here, what's the game you like?
Tennessee Auburn over the 139. Both teams can score pretty fast, pretty efficiently. Both teams put up points greatly. This is going to be a conference showdown. These are the two best teams in the conference right now. I think outside of maybe Alabama, these are probably the two best teams in the conference right now. So this should be a fun game to watch. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I like the over on this one too.
139.5, 139 over under there for the Tennessee Auburn game here. And I'll find it here. Scott, what do you think on this game here?
Auburn's is number one in the country right now. They got to keep winning. There's a couple teams that are like right on their heels. Tennessee they lost. Kentucky's playing really good. They're soaring up the standings, rankings here. So I think Auburn, they can't take any chances here. They got to keep winning and keep winning. And they're a wagon right now. They're really good. They could be the best team in the country, bar none.
I like that.
So I like Auburn a lot to score high 70s, early 80s, and I don't think the defense is good enough to slow down.
Yeah, so 7-12 on the over-under for Tennessee. Auburn's 10-8 on the over-under. If we look at their last matchup back last year in February, it was a 92-84 ball game. It was over 151.5 there. I mean, we look at the Tennessee team. That's been a pretty inconsistent team, right? They've gone as low as 56 against Georgia, but they're pretty consistent around that 70-point mark, if not just above 70 points. Auburn, we all know, can turn it on at any time there with the 80s, the 70s. So, I kind of like it there. Coach Joe, you got anything here on this game?
Yeah, just to piggyback a little bit off of what Scott was saying, definitely are in favor of Auburn, number one team in the nation. Very well coached. I do think they're going to put up quite a few points today in a thoroughly contested game against Tennessee. It's a SEC division game.
Yep.
So it's going to be a pretty good game in my opinion, but I do think Tennessee does cover those points. And I do think that Auburn does end up ultimately getting this win.
I like that there. Scott, man, you're up, man. What game lines in college basketball world do you like today? Give me one.
You want one or you want 100? No, I'm just kidding.
I know. There's a big slate today. The big slate today in college basketball. It's a massive slate in NBA right now. And NHL even has everybody that didn't play yesterday playing. So we got a pretty good slate of games here. We can probably spend 8 hours on. But what do you got here? Give me one game right now to focus in on.
So we talked about it last Saturday. We talked about this specific team, and I'm going to talk about them again. Houston, Kansas over 127.5. I think Kansas may have found something on offense. They were struggling big. They scored 84 a couple games ago. I just think they found something on offense. And I think Houston is going to have to score to keep up with Kansas today. So I can see a game. It's over 127.5. So all you need is 68, 69 points for these teams to go. Actually, don't even need that. You need low 60s. I think both teams can get there. I think Houston's got to keep winning to get a higher, again, NCAA tournament's coming up here in the next month and a half. So these teams got to start ramping it up here and getting into form. So I just think Houston, Kansas can go over this number. So I like this one a lot.
This is an interesting game, right? Despite being a Jayhawk here, I'm just looking at it as a sports betting thing here. It's interesting as a fan too. Let me tell you that much. But right now Houston's 7-11 on the over and under. KU's just 2-16 on the over and under. They do not, whatever it is, man. It's wild here to me that this Jayhawks team is sitting here such more on the under, because we used to score in the 90s back then. Back when we were steaming. Instead, now we can't even. We're barely sipping 60 on some games here. If we look at it here, Utah's still a defensive force. 70-36 is Houston's the defensive force. 70-36. They allowed 36 points last game to Utah. And Utah stinks, by the way, in that matchup here. But if you look at everywhere else here, the last 3 games has been under for Houston, which is Utah, UCF, and West Virginia. KSU was the last time they were over. TCU was, BYU wasn't over. And then KU, on the other hand, they finally got an over game, but that was against a really, really bad K-State team. Ever since then, they've been under. They're 1-9 on the over/under. KU is on the last 10 games. Rough, I tell you. But yes, I think they did figure something out, because they were forced to last game. They're still under that 136 against TCU at TCU. But the fact too, it's at Allen Fieldhouse. And we all know
I was just about to say, Allen Fieldhouse is not an easy place to go play. As someone who's experienced it beforehand,
yes,
it is not an easy place to go into and go play it.
We got some hockey bets to bet on it. We'll pop in there, Jim. Appreciate you, man.
I think that Self just called Dickinson out last game. He just went up and down in the press with him. So I think you're going to see a good Dickinson today, and I think that means he's going to score, which means that Houston needs to find something.
I beg for that every week, man. I tell you, I beg for that every week. I'm looking here, too. I want to check out what Pinnacle has for this game real quick here. One of the sports books that we can't bet at because it's a Canadian-only sports book, but I like the lines because normally they're really sharp when it comes to it. Where are you at here? Not Baylor, Utah. God, it's such a big slate today. There it is. It has 127 right now at Pinnacle. So they're leaning towards more of an under game in this one here. So I don't know. That game's gonna be an interesting game for sure. But you had the over, is that right?
I had the over. I don't think it's gonna go over by much. I think it's gonna be like 130, but I think it is gonna go over.
Okay. Yeah. I mean 126.5 for right now, what the line is on DK. Like, I'll take it. I think that's a hard line to be on the under on. So we've done it. It's just hard. All right, let's jump into it here. Right, we picked some games here. Probably we liked game line wise, and we might have some player props to go with it here. Right now, currently NC State and SMU are 15-14 going at it. And I realize this game's live here, but normally you can still get on underdog. You still look at player props as well. And I actually had some here on underdog I put down. Sorry guys, let me find them real quick. There it is here. So if we pop up our screen, right? Hey, we got a cool little screen here now.
Hey, Tanner, I got another college pick if you'd want it.
Okay, we will. We'll do one more game line here after this. So
okay,
save it.
Oh, okay. Can't say anything then.
It'll come back. We'll come back around. It's a big slate, man. So
okay.
Let's take a look here. What we got here trend wise. So right now, I got Ben Middlebrook. I got the rebounds lower. If you kind of look at us last 10, last 5, I mean, they're a away team as well, so we can filter that. As an away team here, like the last 2 games, Wake Forest, VTech. You saw the KU game. That's back in December for NC State playing KU. That was the last time he was really doing anything. The only issue I have is this rebounds for versus SMU. It's really high. Like they allow a lot of rebounds, so it's very possible that we see, closer to that 5.5, 6 mark here. But I still feel, based off the certain teams that these guys or that he has played against, that they're going to struggle here, still meeting that 5.5 mark. So right now he just has 2 rebounds in the first half so far. I feel good where we're at here. Unlike the Porzingis situation I had the other day, but we'll talk about that later. I also liked Jane Taylor in this matchup for rebounds as well. Oops, I left my game. Sorry. There we go. Jane Taylor for NC State as well. Another lower way that we had. It's a smaller line with 3.5 or 2.5 there. Again, a little worried about this part, but not overly concerned. If you look here at under the odds, I don't know if you see my mouse at all, but on the right-hand side, you'll see odds, and like BetMGM and Underdog has the under there at Underdog with -112. Everybody's kind of going the over in this game. So far, nothing going into play. So I like where I trend there. And then just a couple more guys here. I really focus on the rebound set of it. Higher 3.5 rebounds here. Middle of the pack there for the rebounds for NC State defense here. But plenty of opportunities that he gets. His minutes are pretty high there in the 27-30 range, as well as where he at? Rebounds. His rebounds attempts here, or defensive rebounds, offensive rebounds, have been pretty decent. So I like that here for that. And then finally, Chuck Harris for SMU as well. Again, middle of the pack for NC State defense. I like the odds as of yesterday. Going to play higher than 3.5 rebounds. I feel like there's opportunity here where he does play. Again, this is closer to a 30-minute kind of guy. So I know I went over 4 players there, but that's kind of what I like for this game going on. You can still get some of these lines here for a pretty good price. So if you pop in, you can also look at Price Picks as well. They have similar lines right now going in. So, but that's what I like in this line for this game. Now, let's look at Georgetown Providence. You said you had some lines there, Coach Joe, for this game here?
Yeah, for Georgetown in particular, the forward center, Thomas Sorber. He's been pretty green his last 5 games when it comes to rebounds. So I'm definitely feeling really confident in taking the over for the 8 rebounds today versus Providence. I think that will definitely be a good pick, in my opinion.
I like that.
That was my favorite one for that particular game.
Okay, got it. I like that one. That one particularly. I mean, if you look at the trend there, he should be able to meet that here. I mean, don't mind me, guys. I'm just I'm not totally dropping in bets right now while we talk on these at all. Why would I do such a thing? Don't mind me. So, but yeah, is that your one for the game here?
We can't bet on the show, Tanner. You know better than that.
What are you talking about? I would never do such a thing, Alan. Ever.
Yeah, that's my lock.
Georgetown bet. I like that. I like that one. Alan, did you have any for your game?
Not that I am aware of. I don't pay attention to player props that much in college.
That's fine.
But I do like. Of course, I like Kansas in that game today, so I'd take Kansas to cover that. But If you want, I do have an upset pick too. I like Vanderbilt covering and outright money line winning over Kentucky today.
You shush. You shush. They're in my parlay, Kentucky. You shush.
Vanderbilt team is something else. I don't know. From what I've seen of them, they're a pretty scrappy bunch. So
I like Vanderbilt, but to beat Tennessee and Kentucky in back-to-back weekends is a tall ask to me. That's just how I feel. But again, you ruined the Commanders Eagles game. So
what game? There's no Commanders Eagles game.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's right. There's no Commanders.
Hey, man, football's tomorrow. Football's tomorrow. I
Football's
like that.
tomorrow.
Hey.
I like
Scott.
Yeah, that
sorry,
AFC title game's the Super Bowl.
The game I went Houston, Kansas. I like Dickinson over his points. I just think getting called out by Bill Self. I think he's gonna be motivated to play well today, and I think that's scoring with Dickinson. He's the leader of that team. So
you said points.
Points, yeah. I like his over on points.
I mean, let's put the home squad on this here too. Last 2 games at home, he went over in Arizona, K-State, for his line at 14.5 right now. I show for this game here. Let me pop in real quick here.
7 out of 10 he's gone to the over. So I would continue with the trend. So
the trend is there for it. Sorry, I'm trying to find. There's so many games today that it takes forever to to go down the slate here because everything's still there. There it is. Finally, player props, player points here. Yeah, you can get 15 plus there for Dickinson. So yeah, it's 14.5, 15 there on DK for that one. Look, I don't mind that at all. In this matchup here, if you look here too, 3-point attempts made, 3-point percentage. Houston allows lots of that. Second chance points, I guarantee, are probably there. If we look here at centers, there you go. Field goal percentage, 275th ranked is Houston's defense against centers alone. Free throws, 275th. Plenty of fouls in the paint. That's the kind of grin we want to see when we kind of look at this here. So I like that one too.
Again, Tanner, you're a KU fan. They got to pick it up here. They don't want to be a 5 or a 6 seed in this tournament. They want to be like a 3 or 3 at the worst.
I wouldn't mind a 5 or 6 seed for once. Maybe we'll get a little easier slate.
but you also want to avoid playing that number 1 earlier in the tournament in the NCAAs, and the further along you go without playing the 1, the better off you're going to be. So
and hope to God you don't have to play Auburn.
Yeah, which could happen. So I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm saying that anyways. Alabama and Auburn, I don't want to touch right now until we figure life out. So I don't mind that. I don't mind that, guys. That was a couple of good props there. We'll come back to props here in a minute. Let's get back to a couple of game lines here, right, for college basketball here. Kind of have an idea of who we like here. What we got, 1916 right now, so we're getting there. We're popping up here with plenty of time left in the first half. But Scott, you said
22-16 right now. 22-16.
Yep, now it is. Scott, you said you had something as well for game line.
Cleveland State plays the Fighting Gottliebs today of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh my God!
I knew this was coming.
Cleveland State minus
nobody
14.
You.
Green Bay has lost 15 straight, is 2-13 against the spread in that period of time. Cleveland State is always good at conference play. Cleveland State minus 14. There's no way Green Bay is basically giving up. I watched some of that game last time Green Bay played. They're not interested in playing for Doug Gottlieb at all. They want him out as quick as possible. So, again, Gottlieb is this radio broadcaster. His focus is half on his radio show, half on his quarter on his coaching. Green Bay is outclassed in all these games. They hate him. They've been alienated by him. They don't want to play for him. Minus 14. It's at Cleveland State at home. Give me Cleveland State minus 14. It could end up being over 20. So,
I mean, he put his foot in his mouth, right?
Yep.
That's in the end. That's what he did. When you say nobody you, and then you lose to nobody you, that team that you just called nobody you, like, of course you're out. 2-19 is his record. 7-13. Green Bay is against the spread. Cleveland State 15-6 record. 12-6 against the spread here. Head to head last year, head to head in December 7th. Cleveland State won 83-61. Green Bay out here is 0-10. No, 0-10 in wins and losses. Their last 10 games. They're losing to IUPU, Youngstown State, RMU, Milwaukee. I mean, we're talking teams here. Cleveland State,
Michigan
at least.
Tech.
Winning.
Michigan Tech is in there too.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost to them. I mean, come on. Really?
Cleveland State is 10-0 their last 10, but they're 7-1 with a couple pushes there as well in their last 10. So, like, yeah, this feels like a no-brainer in this one here. So, good call out on that one here. Alan, did you have another game line you want to go over?
Well, Scott, you mentioned Green Bay. How about another team that has not looked good at all this year? Give me Cal minus 10.5 at home against Miami. The Hurricanes 0-8 in conference play. They're 4-15 overall. They've probably been the most disappointing team in the entirety of college basketball this year, because there was a lot of build for this team this year that maybe won't win the ACC, but there at least could be a tournament team. They have not looked like it at all this entire year. So give me Cal at home against a depleted Miami team with the 10.5.
First matchup for the two, right? For these two teams, first matchup against each other, no head-to-head.
And you're going all the way to the West Coast from the East Coast too.
Exactly. And Scott loves the travel games. He loves those East to West games. I tell you right now, Miami, Florida.
Nothing says the ACC, Tanner, like California and Miami.
Yeah. Miami right now 1-9-0 against in the last 10 for win losses. 1-9-0 against the spread. This team is not playing well. Destroyed by SMU, destroyed by Stanford, destroyed by Duke, they lost by 10 on Wake Forest, destroyed by FSU. Like, this goes on and on, guys. This is ridiculous here. California, at least on the other hand, did beat FSU there, so there's a similar matchup. They got destroyed by UNC, but took it to North Carolina State. They've taken it to Virginia Tech, so they seem pretty competitive, actually, compared to most games here. 6-4 against the spread the last 10 as well. I mean, if we look at this matchup alone, yeah, you got a horrendous start. I mean, the Florida State of college basketball this year with Miami, I would say, is a good relation on this one here, and just disappointment. Now you got to go all the way over to California to have to play for all the way from Miami. So I don't mind this one. A minus 10.5 is where we're looking here at this one. Coach Joe, anything on this wonderful game?
Yeah, just to piggyback off what you guys said, Miami is a thoroughly disappointing this season. It's a plethora of transfers that transferred out of that program after they had a really good NCAA run.
Yep.
Really took a toll on them. So I am definitely leaning towards California winning this one, and Miami to not score as many points as projected. So I'm thinking that this actually may lean towards the under, in my opinion.
Ooh, I don't mind the under on this one. 151 on the
I would take
under.
the under team. I would take the under team total for Miami today as well, because I don't think they're going to score that much.
Wasn't it 2 short years ago they were in the Elite 8 or something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Last year, I think they made like the round of 32 or Sweet 16 or something like that.
Yeah, they were.
Last year they were
2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago they were a dangerous team in the NCAA tournament, and now 2 short years later, their coach retires around Christmas time, and they haven't been able to put anything together since. So, I mean, I love the call. I think Miami he's going to get boat raced today.
Yeah, I'm with it. All right, we got one more game for myself for game line, and now I think Coach Joe, did you have another one? I'm sorry.
I was just looking at that Mississippi State South Carolina game. I was looking into that one a little bit, doing a little deep dive into to player props, particularly.
I like it.
With RJ Melendez for Mississippi State. He's been an above average scorer as of late. And then his prop today, his points projection is 9.5. I'm definitely leaning in towards over. I did a little research on him. Last 5 games, he has covered that, has scored in double digits. I live in South Carolina. I'm a South Carolina homer. I follow that team very well. And I do think that they tend to give up points a lot to guards. And I do think that he will cover that over for sure, in my opinion.
By the way, I want to bring this out. SMU is now on a 13-0 run. It is 31-22 SMU. They've gone on a 13-0 run. See, I told you it was going to take till later on in the first half for them to start waking up. So
I mean, we're already talking 53 points in the first half, and we still have 2 minutes, so I'll take it. Sorry, Coach Joe, who was that? Who was that player that you talked about?
RJ Melendez for Mississippi State. Melendez.
Okay, yeah. Was that points or sorry?
That was points. Yes.
Yeah. So I'll pop it up here, guys, for us to see here. If you look at here, this is the details. Let me make sure I get my filters out of here. Yeah, for Mississippi State here. So they're on the away side of things. So even on the away here, 19, 15, 10. We're going to Vandy, Auburn, at Auburn, at Tennessee. Hard places to play. If we look here on the right-hand side, you can see where the defensive side for South Carolina ranks here. I mean, 241st in points, 264th in field goal percentage. Like, that's – yeah, you're scoring 10 points here. And with the line right now, I have 9.5 is what it says. We pop it up here.
My question is,
I'm seeing 7.5. I'm seeing it 7.5 on ESPN bet.
Yeah, my question would be this: does his scoring correlate to them winning and losing games?
That's a good question.
That's a very great question.
Let's take a look.
I mean, Auburn, Tennessee are gauntlets in the conference, so I'm wondering if
click around for a minute, like to see who else is out there. So that's Melendez. So far, nobody else is really dictated. I mean, that's a low line, so that's only 8. So that looks to be like the guy that's scoring points.
That's what I'm thinking. Is if he scores, they're going to be in great shape to win the game, and if he doesn't score, you want to take the other side in those games. So if you think he's going to score, take them, Mississippi State. If you don't think he's going to score, and you think South Carolina can shut him down, which I don't think they're going to be able to, based on how he's played the last handful of games, then you want to take Mississippi State. So that's how I would look at it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that player prop there because, you got a guy that's essentially runs the court for them on that one here. So I don't mind that at all. For that, I got it down as one of my bets now. Appreciate that. I'm always looking for guys here. That's what we do. I think I'm gonna take that. I think I'm gonna take the 10 in this one. All right, so let's pop in here. I got one more line, and then we'll pop into rest of the player props here for what we got. Now, if I can find it again, we'll just type it in. Look, Baylor and Utah. I just said Utah stinks here. The line's only -2.5 favorites for Baylor. Over under's 144. Okay, Utah stinks. I don't have to show you anything else. Okay, I'm not gonna pull up trends. I'm not gonna do nothing. Utah can't do it. Baylor's trying to get back on a positive trend of things here, and I know Scott Frost not Scott Frost. Drew Scott isn't going to lay down to Utah here. Still a tough team. I think Baylor out here a -105 line. I like this a lot here. I like Baylor for just getting the game here, and Utah continuing to tank. So that's my final line there for college basketball. I mean, I got more, but for sake of time, that's kind of what I got there. Any thoughts on this game, guys?
Utah got Utah lost by 34 last game.
They only scored 36 points.
And they're 2.5-point dogs to Baylor.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Something doesn't seem right with that line. There's something going on.
I looked here. I don't see any player injuries. I mean, Baylor struggled. Like they're not what they used to be, but
Baylor
I don't think they're as bad as they are.
Baylor should win by 10 at least.
Like 8.5, something in that range, right? That's how it should be.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
But
I agree.
it is what it is on there, right? So that's kind of what I got. Guys, let's finish out this NCAA slate here. What player props do you have for us? Anybody have any big player props? I got some more here, but I'll let you guys go first.
I got a couple more, guys, specifically with that Michigan State Rutgers game.
Yeah.
So when we think college basketball, we love offense. Of course, we love offense, but I like to look at who's making statements on the defensive side of the ball. And Michigan State has a guy by the name of Trey Holloman, who in the last 5 or 6 games has been green and covered for steals more. All right, so right now they have him for 0.5 steals. Last 5 or 6 games he's gotten that, so I'm putting a bet on that particular prop for him. I think he's going to cover. And then Rutgers has a guy by the name of Ace Bailey, who's been playing some sensational basketball right now. And I like his points, rebounds, assists more in this particular game, in my opinion.
Boom. And then, sorry, who was the other guy? The last guy?
For Rutgers is Ace Bailey.
Ace. Thank you. What was that prop on that one? I was getting the other guy.
It's the points, rebounds, assists. I believe it's at 29.5.
I got 28.5. Yeah.
28.5? Okay.
28.5? Over? Higher?
I got him over. I got him going over.
Let's go. Boom. Locked in. All right. I like
Michigan
that.
State's really good. Michigan State's really good this year.
They are. They're really
going to be
good
a force coming down the stretch there. So.
Oh, there it is. Finally, I found it. Points, rebounds, assists. Of course. Why would we not have any data right now for this game? Because it'd be too convenient for us to do a show. There it goes. All right. Points, rebounds, assists. Ace Bailey. All right. Let's pop this up here. So here you go. Here's your last. Make sure no filters. Okay. So here's your points, rebounds, assists here for the last 10. As we look at it here, 37, 39, 32. He's been a big piece here in this last 2 games for Michigan State here. Penn and Nebraska. I'll take that here. So I like this trend here. Sitting at 70%, 60% in the last 5. No head-to-head, of course, yet, but that's fine. Steals, 201st. So, I mean, they're middle of the pack, right, for Michigan State here. So we like that. And then Trey Holloman was the other guy?
Yeah, Trey Holloman for his steals.
Steals, sorry. That's what it was.
I'm leaning towards more on that particular pick as well.
Okay. Yeah, I like the steals one. 0.5 right now on Underdog, believe it or not. So, but of course, they don't have that listed for here. But, yeah.
So the last 5 games, he's had at least 1 steal. So that is what leaned me towards him, taking him in today's game as well. Dealing with the guard and Ace Bailey, who will be having the ball in his hands a lot, and he'll have to be tasked with guarding him. I think he comes away with at least 1 today.
Awesome. Scott, do you have any player props here that we haven't discussed?
I can't. Boston doesn't do player props for college, so I got nothing.
Keep forgetting that.
I don't know why they don't have player props in Boston, but they don't. I would, to be honest with you, I would look at anything Boston College under there. At North Carolina today, they're 20-point dogs. They're 1-7 ACC play, so they are not good. So if you're feeling any kind of BC and North Carolina, I'm going to. I think they're just going to get smashed. So
gotcha. So I popped up some Florida Georgia match today, right? And that's a kind of an exciting game for the college basketball slate. So I was looking at points and assists for Elijah Martin. If we look here, I got the lower 18.5 here. As you can see, he had 1 great game against Texas. Really just kind of modeled around that line. And look at here the rebound or not rebound, sorry, the where points. He's kind of middle of the pack there. The assists, they're kind of middle of the pack. Nothing particular fantastic about it here for Florida. And they're away. So we even look here on away games. He's only covered 3 times. So I like the points and assists here for Elijah. We pop into points here for Florida as well, and we'll look at Walter Clayton. I said digging into some of these other guys out here. Walter Clayton Jr. here. Once again, with the away filter on, it's like a 50-40. But I anticipate him to having a similar game with like UK, Alabama, having to actually step up here. Again, middle of the pack defense here for Georgia. I anticipate some opportunities here that come into play. So, and the betting lines last night were a lot cleaner or a lot better, but I still like this play here for them. We pop into 3 points made, and we'll look at Silas Damari Jr. And I mean, look at you're talking me a 70 and 80 the last 5. He hit 1 last time, and you got sure one of the better 3-point percenters. I ain't too worried about this because I feel like he's going to get plenty of opportunity in this game for Georgia as they're trying to keep up and take over Florida once again. So I like that bet there. Then finally in rebounds, Asa Newell, last 10. Oh, he's only played 3 games, but I mean his rebound percentage here. Like you have 1 game, Tennessee, that hasn't been jack. I take that after the Arkansas game 8. I think he's going to play opportunity to get the rebounds here. His minutes have been high when he does get in the when he is not hurt, basically in the play. So if we kind of look here at some of his other stats, so those are what I got here as the final game today. So
Tanner, could you look up Mark Sears, point guard for Alabama, real quick for me?
Yep, and
see what his numbers are, or what is projected.
Mark Sears. Over. So you're looking at points?
Yes.
Okay, so here's your points. Let me get rid of the filter. Boom. Okay. Unfiltered right here against the LSU defense. LSU defense is actually better than I thought, but I didn't feel like they were that good of a team. This is a 22.5 point line.
Mm-hmm. 22.5. I'm gonna go over on that because he's averaging 19 points a game. He's been over that mark for the last 5 games, 22-22. The one game he didn't get over that was the loss to Ole Miss when they shut him down. Which that's kind of the key to shutting down Alabama is to make sure Mark Sears doesn't beat you, because he's been kind of their focal point on offense. So I think. I do like Alabama today against LSU. They're at home. I think Sears is going to have a big day for them, and it's going to be a rout of LSU today. I know LSU's played better defensively, but I really like Alabama today.
And this line might be like spot on at 22.5, right? Like just you can go just under, just over.
I was just looking at that because I think what Alabama does is they play a lot of games on offense, especially they're in the 80s and 90s most games, and 22.5 is a pretty, again, 10. I agree, pretty spot on play prop for him. So
it's a big game that they need to win. You know how big Alabama LSU rivalry are. So
here's their point totals the last 5 games: 103 against Vanderbilt, 102 against Kentucky, 64 against Ole Miss. They are shut down in that game. 94 against Texas A&M, 88 against South Carolina.
So they're high point totals. So so you're telling me there's a chance. I like that. I like that there. So, all right, guys, let's keep it moving here. We got another big slate here that we'll talk about, of course, getting in, and that is none other than the NBA slate. Massive slate today here. We already got Indiana, San Antonio rolling. I believe they're still in France. Right?
Yep.
Paris area. Yeah. Correct. Like yesterday, I believe San Antonio crushed Indiana. Right now it's 42-41 there. But we still, it's still rivalry week. We still got a great slate here coming into play. I don't know if you guys caught In the Hoop last night, but with Allen, Bobby G, and of course Jay when he can get on. They had some good discussions here around some stuff here. Who wants to take it?
Wemby's got 14 already. He's been phenomenal.
Showing out.
He's been phenomenal to start out. Halliburton's got 8. He leads the Pacers right now. It's 45-43. This has been a really good contest so far. Wemby's just showing off at this point. Let's be honest. He is the real deal. If anybody who hasn't seen Victor Wembanyama play yet, definitely take a look at and watch a San Antonio game at some point because he is the real deal right now.
So here's my secret bet with Wembanyama: steals, blocks over the total. It's usually 2.5 or 3.5. He usually gets 3 or 4 blocks in games. So if you're looking at that, the two ones I look at him is steals, blocks, and 3-pointers. If he's 3.5 on 3-pointers, I tend to go over. If he's 4.5, I tend to stay away from it. So that's what I do with Wemby with those two things.
Yeah, so I'll just pop it up real quick to show you guys what he's saying.
He's got 1 block, 2 steals. He's got 4 rebounds right now, so he's pretty much about to hit that over, Scott.
Yeah. So there's your steals, no filter there, like the last 10 games, and if you look at blocks, it's right there with it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Those are nice little lines there. Good call out there. So, all right, guys, let's talk about it here. Quite frankly, this is a big slate here, so I don't care what we talk about. Game lines, player props. Alan, do you have anything? What do you want to start with, man?
I'm gonna go and look at that Boston-Dallas game.
No Derek White.
In Dallas.
No Derek White in this one. He is officially ruled out.
Interesting. I'm still gonna go with Boston -7.5. They're coming off a big win on the road in Oklahoma City. They usually if they get a big win against a really good team, they usually tend to fall down a little bit on the next game. Plus, this is a finals rematch, so Boston's just been playing on a different level. I know outside of Cleveland, Boston's probably the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. So I'm tending to lean towards the 8.5 for the Celtics today.
They're playing with their food. They're playing with their food.
There's still no Luka. He probably won't be back till just
Luka's not there for a while.
So you got Boston, Dallas at Dallas -8.5 is your line, like Alan said. 224.5, 224 is your over under in case you're interested in that. But that's kind of the game we're looking at there. Scott, what do you got, man?
I got Bulls -4 over 76ers. 76ers are terrible this year. Paul George has played okay, has not been what Philly has wanted. Embiid is in and out of the lineup. Maxey just came back a handful of games ago. The Sixers just are not the Sixers that we're used to the last 3 or 4 years. So I like the Bulls -4. I think it's at Chicago, which gives them added advantage. I just don't like the way the Sixers are playing. They're not even in the playoffs playing situation.
No,
they're
not.
out of the playoffs right now.
It's a rough time there for the Sixers.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
it is.
It's been
Maxey and Embiid aren't getting along. They're arguing with each other a lot. It's just not good right now. So.
All the more reason Philadelphia fans need the Eagles to win. So,
absolutely.
Oh God, don't take command, Washington. Take command.
Alan, there's a game tomorrow, Philly and Washington.
We'll talk about that tomorrow, though. Coach Joey, what do you got here for betting wise? Props, game lines, whatever for NBA.
Oh man, 14 games today.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Everybody is in action. A few games I'm keying on, but I'll start off with the Charlotte Hornets and the New Orleans Pelicans. Both of these teams tend to not play a lot of good defense, so I'm definitely taking the over in the points on this one.
Okay.
Particularly with the Charlotte Hornets, they just, for some reason, allow everybody to score at least 125 on them lately. So with that particular game, I'm looking at LaMelo Ball. He's at 29.5 points. If we look at his last 5 to 7 games, he has not hit that mark. He's been under. So I'm taking the under for his points in this particular game. DeJounte Murray, he's at 16.5 points, and I'm taking his over in that one. 3 out of the last 5, he's cleared that. Once again, though, they're playing the Hornets. We got to keep that in mind. They don't play too much of defense, so I definitely think that he can get 17 points easily versus them. And then CJ McCollum, he's at 18.5 points more, and I'm taking his over on that one as well. LaMelo is basically an offensive-minded guard. So I definitely think that the guards in DeJounte and CJ will be able to hit their marks and points for today's game.
Gotcha.
Looking at the last 5 games here for Charlotte, they give it a 97, 120, 105, 123, and 112.
Okay.
Giving up some big points.
So you're right. They do give up a lot of points.
Well, so LaMelo, you had points on this one?
Yeah, I had under for him because it's at 29.5 for this game.
Yep.
And as you see, his last 5, he's not hit that mark. So I'm willing to bet that trajectory continues today. And 29.5 is a pretty big number. Basically, he has to get 30, to beat it. So I definitely think that he will score in the upper 20s, but I just don't think he'll hit that mark. And I think he hits under that particular number today.
If I remember last night we talked about, because there was talks about him in the All-Star game because he's the top pick in the fan vote for some odd reason as the Eastern Conference point guard, but he's also like 30-something% shooting from the field, and he's like 20-something% from 3-point range. He's not, the percentage-wise, he's not shooting very well. He's like 11 of 40 most nights. So I definitely agree with you on that, Joey. I think he's going to go under today because that's just kind of the trend we're seeing from LaMelo Ball. I know he's got a lot of popularity there, especially with the fans. But if you look at his statistics, they're not that great. They really aren't.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind it here. And then your next guy was DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, DeJounte Murray.
Well.
Yeah. So I just think it's going to be a offensive game today between those two. So I focused in on points in this particular matchup. And DeJounte is at 16.5 for today. And I believe 3 out of his last 5, I think he's greened those. And I think that he definitely gets at least 17 today versus the Charlotte Hornets defense that has been underperforming.
Yeah, it looks like his minutes. Well, some reason that's Utah. Yeah, no, that's back-to-back Utah games there. He only played 25 minutes on that first game there against Utah. So he had definitely a smaller usage, as you can see here on the screen. Hopefully, I got it up. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Here, 18%. I mean, usage here for the game. Like you could see why it was so low, right? 9 field goals made. He only shot 9 times. 3-pointers weren't there. So, yeah. I'm not too worried about, I guess, the Utah game, but we've seen him when he's on here. So 30, 26, 26 is really what you got to worry about there. So I like that one. And then what was your final guy was CJ McCollum?
CJ McCollum. And I also went points over for him.
I like that.
He's at 18.5 for today, guys. As you can see, he had a big game against Utah with 45.
26, 22.
That streak today against Charlotte.
Yeah, and you can see it once again here. It's one of the sites I use here. You can see the usage on these games where it's red, and it wasn't high usage. It wasn't high at all here. Zion, I think I saw something about Zion. He is, oh my Lord, I saw something this morning. There it is. Conditioning will play on Saturday. So we have Zion in today as well. So if we go with or without players, let's bring him in. So when he's in, that tells you a little bit story about why.
I like the 4.5. Then if Zion's playing, I like the 4.5 for New Orleans today. Then,
yeah, on that one here, I still think you get plenty of opportunity here against a team like Charlotte from this standpoint too. So yeah, no, I like it. Good call there. So I got them written down. By the way, I'm gonna put them in when we're done. I won't hold you guys up. Any other bets out there, Coach Joey?
Let's see. Next game.
Yeah.
Next game, Rockets Cavaliers. It should be a good one. And the interesting thing about this game, in my opinion, guys, is they recently just matched up January 22nd against each other. So a couple of days ago, they already played. So I was looking at some of the stats from that game and the trajectory and things that happened in that game. So Houston center Sengun, he's playing some very good basketball as of late. And his line tonight is 17.5 points. I'm going with the over on that. Last 4 out of 5, he's hit. So I'm feeling very confident and strong that he will be able to achieve that goal and hit 18 points tonight versus a Cavaliers team that does have some good interior defense with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. But I definitely think he can get it done. Seeing that his usage rate is high, he touches the ball a lot, so I'm feeling confident that he can achieve that. And then one of the younger guys on the Houston Rockets, Amin Thompson. His stat line tonight is 15.5 points. I'm going to go over on him as well. As you can see, 4 out of his last 5 he's hit. He's playing some really good basketball. He's feeling real confident as of late. So, and then he had 16, I believe, against this Cleveland team on the 22nd. So I think that he can definitely duplicate that and achieve that goal. And then Jared Allen with Cleveland, 13.5 points. I'm going to go to over on that one. I know he's been kind of in a slump lately, as we can see. But I think that he can make that happen tonight, in my opinion. And then Max Strus, 1.5 assists. I'm going to go more on that one, okay? So he's a shooting guard. He usually catches and shoots, but he does facilitate a little bit lately. I believe 4 out of the last 5 or so, he got that number a little bit. So I'm going to take it that he can make that happen again tonight.
Are you taking the 2.5 updated line on it, or just the 1.5 if you can get it?
Okay, I'm taking a
just throwing a loop at you.
I was on Prize Picks and it was a Green Goblin 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to take the 1.5. If it's 2.5, I would take the under.
Okay, I like that.
Strus had 5 assists in their last meetup, and Jared Allen had 17 points the last time these two teams played.
Yep.
So both of those overs actually look pretty good if that were the case.
There we go on that one. So, but yeah, no, I like those picks there. And I'll let you out. You had any other games you're looking at? That main 2 right now. And I'm throwing you on the spot, man.
Kings Knicks. Meeting of 2 of the best rebounders in the league between Sabonis and Karl Anthony Towns. But I got some props for those guys, but I also got some other props. Let's start with De'Aaron Fox. 22.5 points. I'm taking the less on it right now. It's been some other guys on that Kings team that has been involved scoring on the offensive side, particularly DeMar DeRozan. He has an uptick in points right now, and the sniper has been getting the ball and facilitating more and getting more assists lately. So I'm taking the under on his points in this one.
Okay.
We all know that the Knicks under Tibbs, they play a lot of good defense. So I do think that De'Aaron will hit the under on his points. I think that trajectory will continue into his 6 consecutive games, scoring under 22.5. Then let's go to Sabonis. 13.5 rebounds. I'm going to go more. I mean, this guy's just a rebounding monster.
Yep.
19, 18, 14. I know he's going to be playing against Karl Anthony Towns, who's also a great rebounder. And then we got a guard like Josh Hart. For some reason, he's in double-digit reboundings, game in, game out sometimes. But I do think that Sabonis takes this challenge personally, and I think he does get that over on that line.
I mean, look what he did against Boston, 28 rebounds.
Yeah. Look at that.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy. And then DeMar DeRozan, piggybacking off what I was saying with De'Aaron Fox, he's been in a scoring slump lately as far as not hitting his average, but DeMar has been overachieving on his average. I believe he's at 21.5 right now, and I'm going to take the more on that one. I think the last 5 or 6 games on DeMar, he's hit that one. So I definitely think that continues. He's pretty hot right now from the field. So I'm definitely leaning towards DeMar DeRozan to score at least 22 today.
Can I throw one more prop in on that game?
Heck yeah. What do you got?
Malik Monk assists. He's now the starting point guard for Sacramento. They've inserted him into the starting lineup. I don't know. I think it's usually 5.5 as assist props. Could be higher now. I still think he's going to hit the over on it. So I like him to get eight assists.
I like that
against the Knicks.
Blake Monk right now is.
By the way, halftime in Paris right now is 65-50 in favor of the Pacers.
It's 6.5 on DraftKings. The over is plus money on the over.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, I see it here. 124 plus 124.
They're begging you to take the under on that. I'm going over.
You get on underdog, you can get the over assist there at 5.5 still. Good call. So awesome.
Pacers lead by 15 at halftime against the Spurs. Four of their starters are in double digits right now.
And the other one I would guide you to, Alan said it earlier, Derek White's out for the Celtics tonight. Peyton Pritchard's 3-pointers is 2.5. Over is plus money. He's going to get more.
So let's do without. So we can find White. No White. Boom! Look at that big increase.
Ooh. 4 out of the last 5 games, he's gone over that. I like him to go over in the finals rematch tonight. He's either going to start or he's going to be the first guy off the bench. He's if you remember Vinnie Johnson in the old days, he was like the microwave. As soon as he came in, he shot the ball. So I think Peyton Pritchard can get 3 3-pointers tonight. So I like that to go over. It's plus like 124 on DraftKings right now. So I would grab it.
Like 114 now on DK is where it's at. So.
Yeah. So I would grab the over there too.
Good call. What else? Anything else, Scott?
A lot of the Celtics shoot 53 pointers in games, pretty close to it. A lot of their players are plus money to go over their 3-pointers. Like Tatum's over 3.5 at plus money. Drew Holiday is over that as well. So I would take a look at those. That's a 5:30 Eastern game, so that's coming up pretty quick here. So I would take a look at a lot of the overs 3-pointers on that because I think they played better against the better teams. They got blasted by the Lakers the other night, so I think they come back with a good effort tonight.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that Lakers game. Porzingis had a pretty high points, rebounds, assists there. I think it was like 28.5, and he hadn't hit it forever. It's pretty low. This is without White, by the way. This is why, but he dominated. He had over half of his points, rebounds, assists by the end of the first quarter. So
the narrative I will go with on this game, on the Celtics game, is this: Jason Tatum did not win MVP of the series last year. I think this is a Jason Tatum game tonight. So if you want to look at some of his stats, I think he's going to his over under points is like 26.5.
25.5 on here.
25.5. I would tend to go the over. I think Jason Tatum's got something to prove. He just got named to the All-Star team. He's going to score tonight. I think he's going to take it upon himself with Derek White out to score more so than anything else. And his rebounds is usually around 7.5, 8. I would take the over on that too. He's a rebounding machine. He usually gets around.
So yeah, he's about 8.5. So he's just below it here the last few games.
Right
here.
In that area.
But if you look at Dallas's defense, rebounds, they're middle of the pack. So they're not anything particular, but he is 25th. They're 25th ranked in offensive rebounds. So yeah, if he's getting down low, second chance points is right there too with them. So
see, I would tend to go the under, and I like the over, but the under is plus 100. So anytime you can get plus money on that, you wanna take advantage of.
Wait, you said under rebounds?
Just barely under. Now that I look at his player prop, so I would say he's going to get right around 7 or 8, which is under the prop. So
yeah, it looks like you can still get a FanDuel and DK at 100 on the under plus 100. Yeah.
By the way, I know we talked about the Lakers earlier. I like them on the money line today because I am not a fan of what's going on in Golden State right now. There's something wrong going on in Golden State. I don't like what they're doing.
They're all injured. That's the
It's
problem.
I like the Lakers. I like the Lakers money line tonight.
Curry's got a bad ankle. He's playing on it because Draymond Green is out with a back injury. So that's why they're not playing well right now.
All right.
So
Would you guys like a score update on the college games real quick?
no. Yes.
Not yet. Not yet. Let's finish
Not
NBA. And when we get to we switch over, I'll let you do the score update.
All right. Cool.
Okay. All right. Here's a couple of my bets here I like that I put in. My boy, fellow Jayhawk, Christian Braun. His rebounds, I have 3.5. Let me make sure I might filter it out. Okay, good. I have 3.5 rebounds here for Christian Braun. He's been one of the guys here. He's going against Minnesota where they can play, but I mean his percentage. See, they're away. Am I right? They're away. I think they're away. When he's on away games here, he's pretty dominant. He's pretty dominant in this play here. So I like Christian Braun at higher than 3.5 rebounds today. Of course, Joker, because why not? Joker, he hit it last time. Over 12.5 rebounds as well. He's only missed that 3 times on away games. In the last 10. Russell Westbrook kind of hovered around rebound central. This guy's been playing phenomenally. I'd say over here as well. I had the under, but I didn't filter out the home away then. And he got over that. I think it was 3.5 last game. So 4.5. I'll take the higher there for him. And of course, points and rebounds wise, just for the good combo there. I think I got Rudy Gobert. And let's get away from that. And let's bring the home. At home here, he is a little bit more dominant. And then the points, like 24th worst in points for Denver's defense here. But the points in the paint is 26th worst there for Denver. And that's kind of what I was hovering over there. So I think he's going to get his rebounds and points in the paint. I think, honestly, he should be able to hit this here at 21.5. I feel pretty easily for this game here. So that's kind of my big game here for the day.
Tanner,
around those props.
Can you go to Anthony Edwards for a minute?
Yep.
I think he's further down. Do you have 3-point attempt?
3-point
attempts, yeah.
There you go.
His prop is 3.5. He's shooting about 10 threes in games in January. If he shoots 10 threes, in a game, I think he's going to hit 4, which would be over the prop. So I like that over. He
shot 7 last game, 8, 9, and 13 in your last 4.
He's throwing up a lot of threes. So I'm gonna probably what I'm gonna do is parlay Edwards and Pritchard over threes together. And that's probably going to be a plus like 200 somewhere in that vicinity.
I like it.
All right. Any final NBA bets, guys, we want to look at? Nope. All right. Here we go. We're keeping moving. Alan, give us that score update there we got going on college basketball.
All righty. So SMU leads NC State 42-32. It's about 13 minutes to go in that game. You've got Campbell trailing Hofstra 38-32. You got Stony Brook beating North Carolina A&T 58-51. Syracuse Pitt 33-32 in favor of Syracuse there at home. Howard and Norfolk State tied at 35 at halftime. Providence leads Georgetown by a score of 38-33. Mississippi State up 11-5 early on in that game. East Carolina beating South Florida 13-5. Northern Illinois, Indiana State 18-11. Bucknell leading Boston 20-11. Sorry, Scott.
That's not BC. That's BU. I don't care what
BU. Yeah,
at Boston University.
Boston University.
I don't care.
Vermont on a 1-point lead over UMBC. Wright State over Detroit Mercy 16-6. Jacksonville over Queens University 19-12. And then there's a couple others as well. Iona Siena 9-7 there.
Queens is killing me.
We're getting deep.
Queens is killing me.
Yeah, there's a lot
of games.
A lot of games on right now. A lot of the lower level school games, but Big day in college basketball, big day in the NBA today.
I got you. Now, we're about to hit a sport here, right? A lot of us aren't comfortable with it. This is something new. I've been really trying hard to dig into NHL world the last couple of years. It's been off and on kind of thing here, but we have a guy on the Let's Talk Sports show named Jim Behringer that pops on with us. You can follow him at Jim Behringer here. He already threw out a couple bets there. Overcheck and goal, baby. Which we need there. By the way, I'm going to write this down real quick. Gretzky, let's play in the Canucks as well. So, I mean, there you go. We got 2 goals right there. If you want to do it, this is wow, Full Press Hockey. You can go follow him there. He's attended all the events, right? He's at the draft. He's at the finals and the perch, like everything. So we go follow Jim Behringer. I like that there. We also got Eric Norton. I don't know if you guys have followed him there. I've been following his hockey bets here. Friend of the show here. And I'm trying to get him on one day for us. Let's pop this up real quick here. And what he likes here is Montreal money line. He states we're riding Dobes in the net for Montreal till the wheels fall off. Kid's been amazing. So he likes Montreal money line. He has a little 2-way parlay there. Florida money line and Edmonton money line. There are no teams that played last night. There was 3 or 4 games last night. There are no teams playing today, so there's no back-to-backs. I looked it up. I was trying to research it there, so we don't have to worry about none of that. But this is it's a nice little bet there. I wouldn't mind. I'm probably going to place it as well in the end. So, but yeah, go follow him at Norton's Bets. He has always some good stuff there. So, but guys, I know it's not a big slate. We're some unfamiliar territory, but it's betting. We usually see trends, and we usually can get some kind of idea here. Anybody have any hockey bets today?
I'll give you a 2-game parlay of Florida and Seattle. The last time the Kraken played the Penguins, they doubled them up 4-2. The Penguins, you don't know what you're going to get with this team. It's not one day they could put up 5 goals. One day they can only score 1, but give up 5 goals. So you don't know what team you're going to get. You don't know what team you're going to get with Pittsburgh on a daily basis. So
it's not a lot.
I like the Kraken in that situation, and then the Florida still continuing to ride their wave of momentum from their Stanley Cup last year. So I like them today, even though they are on the road in San Jose. The Sharks are not good. They're not. They're one of the bottom teams in the NHL this year. So I like the 2-game money line parlay with the Florida Panthers and the Seattle Kraken today.
All right, guys. This really not my area of expertise. But I'll throw one out here, okay? Edmonton versus Buffalo. We're gonna go with Darnell Nurse at 1.5 hits more. All right. So one thing about hockey that I love is the physicality of the sport. Okay, so Darnell has been on a little streak as of late in this particular category, hitting 4 out of his last 5. So if I would have to place a bet that's a safe bet, in my opinion, that I think will definitely green, it would be Darnell Nurse 1.5 hits more.
Let's take a look. Oh, yeah, look at that. 5 last time against Vancouver. 70%, 80% hit right here. And, I mean, where are we at here? Hits. It's right in the middle of the pack there for the Buffalo defense here. I like that one. Edmonton's been playing very, very physical lately, and it shows there for them the last few. So, yeah, good call there. What else we got, guys?
Okay, I got a parlay. I hate my Bruins, first of all. Let me just say that. They're terrible right now.
You always hate your Bruins.
I do. I'm on board with Jim. Jim's been talking about them a lot in his shows and everything else. I'm going with the parlay. I'm going with against the Canadians. I'm going New Jersey and Colorado. Colorado's in Boston. They're playing right now. It's no score early. It just started like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, it did, yeah.
And the Devils have been playing some good hockey lately, so I'm going to go with them over the Canadians. I know the Canadians are right on the cusp of a playoff spot, but I
They've
still
been
think the
playing
Devils.
well, too. Yeah.
Yeah. So New Jersey, Colorado is a plus 169 parlay, so I put that in earlier. So I like that one.
I like it. I like it. What else we got, guys? Before I hop in,
I have a tennis bet, so
I know you do. I told people there's other sports coming. Scott Cobe, when he gets on, he'll have some stuff. So, for me, guys, we're kind of looking here. Look, we talked about New Jersey and Montreal. Let me go find my ticket. Where you at? So that one, there it is. All right, I got some player props here for us, and this one here. Look, let's just pop it up here. We'll talk about it as we go. And forgive me for mispronouncing any names because I am horrendous at it here. But we're specifically looking at the New Jersey Montreal game in this here. Shots on goal here. Looking at Nesson here. Look, 26 in goals, 24th in shot and goals is the defense here for Montreal. If we look here too, right, 5 shot on Boston. 2 at Tampa, 2 Seattle here. And if they're, let's see here, New Jersey's away. So if we put that filter up here, like he shoots more than not majority of the time there. His usage is there. His shot attempts are decently high majority of the time there. I like Nelson here as a 1.5 shots and goal on the higher. Then we're going to look here at Mercer. Where we at? We'll go to assists. There it is. Dawson Mercer on the assist here. Let me get rid of my filter. That's last time he made an assist was back in Seattle on 1-6. So I don't anticipate nothing there. Yes, I know Montreal's defense allows, a whole bunch of different stuff for the offensive side, 25th in assist, but I still think that I still like the under there, the lower for 0.5 assists, whatever line you can get it at there. Next, we're going to pop back into shots on goal. We're going to go Gallagher. We're going to go Brendan Gallagher there for Montreal. Look, one of the better teams here on the shots on goal, 3rd best for New Jersey's defense, 4th in goals here. I don't anticipate too much here, but this guy generally wants to shoot it, and he shoots it a lot there. The Rangers game, really particular the other day, he shot 5 at home. If we take away the filter, you can see sure, it's minimal. The percentage is a little lower. I still, I took the lower. So I did take the lower in this one. 40%, 40% there. Nothing screamed to me in the end, plus the defensive side. So I thought the red higher. So I got the lower 1.5 shots there. And then finally, Jesper Bratt for New Jersey. I got the higher. In this one here. I think, as you can see within the matchups here, 4-3, 4-3, 5, got a couple 1. So he's consistently engaging. Again, one of the worst shots on goals team that he's facing there. So that is my that's my big hockey player props for the day. So
I got one more, guys.
What do you got?
I'm gonna stick with the Edmonton Buffalo game. All right, so I gave one for Darnell Nurse. Let's stick with another Edmonton player. And forgive me if I'm pronouncing his last name wrong. I believe it's Leon Draisaitl.
Draisaitl, yeah.
Draisaitl, okay.
You got it.
Let's go to his points if we can. I'm going to take the 1.5 points more.
Ooh.
Lately, he's been achieving that number. 3, 2, 2, 2 the last 4. So I think that trajectory will continue, and I think that he'll be able to get at least 2 tonight.
Down with it.
I like
that.
Shots on goal as well to go over.
Shots on goal.
Yeah, I like that too to go over. I know 4 of the last 6 games he's gone over, so I like him to get at least 4 shots today against Buffalo tonight.
Right. Yeah, he played Vancouver, like at Vancouver, Washington, then Vancouver at home, and that was the only time he was really under. So,
as long as he doesn't play Vancouver, he's fine, Tanner. That's what.
Yeah, as long as it's not playing Vancouver, we're good. So, anybody got anything else for NHL world? Love it. We'll keep moving on here. All right, Scott, this is your time to shine, man. I know you follow the other sports, hockey, golf, and all that jazz. What do you got?
So, if you watch the Australian Open very early this morning at 3:30 a.m.,
which I did not.
women's match was fantastic. Madison Keys and Sabalenka was fantastic. The American won the Australian Open, which is great. The men's final is tomorrow. It's Yannick Sinner against Zverev. I could pronounce his name wrong. I like Sinner. Sinner is the number one player in the world. He's been on a major roll lately. I like him to win. He's minus 300, so you're probably gonna have to juice it up a little bit. But I like him to win in 4 sets. So if you want to put a parlay together, I would do that's and Sinner. But I already bet Sinner to win it. So I think he's gonna win. So that's me.
I like it. Anything else, guys? Anything else out there for today that we like that we haven't discussed?
Well, if you want to put some pizza money down on some wrestling bets, I got a couple for you.
Oh, gee.
Where's wrestling bets available, man? I don't even see it.
You just gotta look it up, man. You just gotta look it up.
I
personally don't think these are gonna happen, but Jey Uso is plus 900 to win the World Heavyweight Championship tonight. There's a lot of talk that he may actually win that belt. There's a lot of people within circles that really think that he's earned the opportunity to be a world champion. So don't be surprised if that happens. I would throw a little bit of sprinkle $5 on that. And then Sheamus tonight, plus 550 to win the Intercontinental title. It's the only title he has not won in his tenure in WWE. It's the only title that he is missing. That is the most likely title change that could happen tonight. If any title change does happen, it would be Sheamus winning the Intercontinental title. That's why it's plus 550. So those are the
Where are these?
I'm looking them up.
Yeah, I got to put a couple bets down on Royal Rumble. Where the heck are these?
You just got to look it up.
That Jey Uso match. Is he fighting Gunther?
Yeah, he's fighting
their world title.
Yeah, I'm tired of the Gunther reign. I pray that Uso gets the belt tonight.
My feeling is that CM Punk's favor is against Gunther at WrestleMania in the main event. That's what I think the favor is, because he's never main evented before. He's not winning the Royal Rumble. It's probably going to be Cena, because the rumor is Cena's facing Rhodes at WrestleMania. So I have a feeling Gunther is facing CM Punk at WrestleMania, and then Seth Rollins will face him at SummerSlam or something. So I think that's the way it's going. So I'm sorry, Alan, but
hey, can we?
I think the odds on favorites to win the Royal Rumbles are
Cena and Charlotte.
Cena and Charlotte are the two odds on favorites to win each Royal Rumble.
I saw something on Twitter. They leaked it out. Cena and Punk are the last two in the Rumble, and Cena's going to win it. So,
what do you got, Coach?
I was just a fan in me is just hoping that it's a couple of. I know it's going to be a couple of surprise entries in the women's and the men's Royal Rumble. But
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yeah, I think he's coming out for sure. I think that Jade Cargill will have a return tonight in the women's Royal Rumble. And
I think so too.
She may actually make some noise. I'm hoping that she goes far in it. But the fan in me wants to see The Rock enter. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it'd be nice if The Rock somehow, some way, the final boss came out there.
There's a lot of talk that The Rock will enter at 30 and cost Roman the match.
That's what I'm thinking, So, so I'm thinking that, hey, he might enter and actually may freaking win it. Who knows? So it's going to be highly entertaining. I'm definitely going to be tuned in. Big wrestling fan as a kid growing up, and I have to be honest, these last couple years have really sparked my interest in my
that Royal Rumble card. It's getting better and better by the day. You got 2 Royal Rumble matches, you got a ladder match for the world title, and you've got a 2 out of 3 falls match for the tag team titles, which is going to be fun.
Does anybody know if Andre the Giant's entered the Royal Rumble this year? Hulk Hogan, any of those guys? No.
Bruno Sammartino back in your days, Scott.
Yeah. Haystacks Calhoun. We'll go back then.
It's also going to be interesting if Jacob Fatu, enters as well. to see if they may give him.
I am highly. I want to see that match with him and Strowman tonight. That's going to be awesome.
I hope they turn him babyface. Was what I hope, because he's starting to get a lot of mic work, and I think the fans are starting to put him over. I think you can hear some cheers with Fatu when he comes out. So I hope they turn him.
Well, you guys can get that to Bovada.
Is that where it is? Okay.
Be careful. Be careful around Bovada. But yeah, that's where you can get it. So
yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Only if you have like a little bit of pizza money left, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, you gotta be careful on that. Just getting it cashed out. So, but we'll be back at it, guys. If you guys want to join us on Underdog Price Picks, there's links below in the comments, or just comments, the description here on YouTube. Here, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow at the Rec Room Sports Hub. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a primarily focused there on the NFL slate here for player props, for game lines. Primarily that we might have dabbled tiny bit, not like we did today in other sports, but I mean, that's what we got. Hopefully you guys are profitable with us this weekend. Hopefully we gave you great ideas, at least from a betting standpoint, if you are throwing stuff in. So, but we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow, 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern, for your NFL slate there. And can't wait to talk one big more day of football before the Super Bowl. So that's kind of where we're at. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out. We'll catch you tomorrow. Starsky, go away. Swear to God.
Bye.